Hi guys, welcome to my affordable watch collection. My name is Aviv, and today we are going to take a master class on how to successfully bring a watch back to life after almost 60 years. This is not one of those restoration videos. Today we are taking an in-depth look at the Nivada Grenchen Chronomaster Aviator Sea Diver Broad Arrow Manual Wind Chronograph. Just like the name of this watch, this is going to be a longer one, so clear the time and settle down. I promise it is going to be worth it. The Chronomaster was sent to the channel as a loaner piece for the purpose of making this review, and once I'm done with it, I will be sending it back to the company. Let's start with a bit of a history lesson. Nivada Grenchen was founded by Jacob Schneider in 1926 in Grechen, Switzerland. The Chronomaster, a waterproof chronograph, was first introduced almost 40 years later in 1963. It was such a success that it was manufactured and sold in increasing volumes until the late 1970s, when, like many other brands at that time, the company struggled to keep its relevance during the quartz crisis. That is when cheaper and easier to make quartz-powered wristwatches started flooding the market, making archaic mechanical movements obsolete. The factory finally closed its doors in the early 1980s when it just stopped being profitable. The brand was revived again in 2018 with the rising popularity of the romantic side of old-time watchmaking. Modern materials and movements replaced the old ones, resulting in more robust and adventure-ready timepieces. The price of the modern interpretation of the Chronomaster starts at 1,690 Swiss francs, which roughly translates to just under $1,800 at the time of recording, taking its place as the most expensive watch to be featured on this channel. A plethora of dial options and different straps and bracelets are available, as well as an automatic version. Nivada kindly offered a special code for the viewers of my affordable watch collection for a free strap of your choice when you order a watch from their website. Simply add the extra strap to your cart and enter the code, and you are good to go. Here's what you get for this money. Inside a rather simple cardboard box that has Nivada Grenchen's social networks information, you get a watch box covered with a paper sleeve with a nice print on it. The box itself is padded and branded on the outside and has the watch rested on a cushion on a black velvet interior. There's some more information color printed on the inside of the lid, and you do get a signed 2 years warranty card and a little solid hang tag. Let's take a look at the measurements. The width of the case is 38 mm, but the bezel overhangs off of it slightly at 39 mm. Its thickness is 13.7 mm, including the protruding crystal. The distance between the lugs is 20 mm. Lug tip to lug tip is 46.5 mm. And on the Tropic rubber strap option, the watch weighs 90 grams. It is water resistant to 100 meters, which is impressive considering the fact that the crown and pushers don't screw down. Looking at the matte black dial, there's so much going on here, and everything has its function. Let's go from the outside in. First feature running along the very edge of the dial is a white printed tachymeter. In a nutshell, a tachymeter is used to calculate the speed of a moving object over a known distance, or the distance that an object moving at a known speed passes over a certain period of time. After that, there's a printed minute and fifth of a minute track that integrates a set of vintage-colored baton indices on most hours. The 12 o'clock index is distinguished by 2 lume dots on either side of the baton, and the 3 and 9 indices are missing, giving their places to 2 subdials. The subdial at the 3 o'clock position is a 30 minutes counter for the chronograph, with a brilliant touch of red color on the first 5 minutes. That adds so much to the design of the watch. The first 5 minutes are arranged in a descending order, giving you the ability to count down 5 minutes. Pretty cool. The subdial at the 9 o'clock position is the watch's running seconds hand, with corresponding markings printed in white. Both subdials are countersunk into the dial and have a subtle sunburst effect, adding even more interest to the dial. Nivada Grenchen is printed under the 12 o'clock baton, and Chronomaster Aviator Sea Diver and L Swiss are printed above the baton at the 6 o'clock. The L refers to the superluminova lume that is present on the dial and hands, which we are going to get to in a minute. That's everything on the dial. Probably one of the busiest dials I've featured on this channel, but I think it is very well balanced. The broad arrow variation of the Chronomaster is named after the handset Nivada used. The hour hand indeed has a broad arrow head tip, while the minute hand is dolphin shaped. Both are filled with that vintage style lume and are flat and highly polished. The center chronograph seconds hand is polished as well, but has no lume on it. The small subdial hands are alpha shaped and highly polished too. The lume used on the dial and hands to help emphasize the vintage look is old radium superluminova. It looks great when the lights are on, but to be honest, it's nothing exceptional once they are turned off. It's not very bright to begin with, and it doesn't last for too long either. Also, there is no lume on the bezel that will help you keep track of your dive time underwater. None on the small subdial hands either. Covering the dial is a top hat double-domed and scratch-resistant sapphire crystal that looks brilliant and adds a lot to the vintage look of the watch. It has some blue-tinted anti-reflective coating applied to its underside for increased visibility in bright environments. The case is made of 316L stainless steel, finely brushed on the tops of the lugs and the sides of the case, and highly polished on the chamfered edges. The quality of finishing seems to be impeccable. The lugs are drilled for easy strap change and angled down for a comfortable wearing experience. The chubby crown at the 3 o'clock position is a push-pull type crown. It is gnarled and signed with Nivada Grenchen's shielded N logo. Twist it up to hand-wind the movement. Pull it out to set the time. The two pushers found at the 2 and the 4 o'clock positions are completely polished. Push the top pusher to engage the chronograph. Push it again to stop. And push the bottom pusher to reset the chronograph with a snap. The bezel is made of stainless steel as well and has a coin edge to help you grip it. This is a free-floating bezel that rotates in both directions with no ratcheting. There is some resistance though. It doesn't just wobble about when you don't want it to. The bezel insert is made of aluminum and serves two purposes. The first one is to time dives, or hard-boiled eggs, or whatever you want to time, using the outer track of the bezel insert. It has a downwards facing triangle marking the 12 o'clock position, a full minute track, and Arabic numerals marking every 5 minutes. The second purpose it serves is keeping track of a second time zone, with 12 hours GMT markings on the inner track. This is one of my favorite complications. So simple, yet so useful and easy to use. The case back is a solid chunk of stainless steel that screws down into place. It has the brand's name and the historic shielded N engraved on the brushed finished center, the watch's serial number below those, and the usual spec sheet highlights engraved around the edge. The Chronomaster is powered by a Swiss-made Sellita SW510 MBHB. Based on the veteran Voljoux 7750, this is a part of Sellita's SW510 family of mechanical chronograph movements. Thanks to an Inca block shock protection system, it is known for its durability and flexibility. This specific iteration is a manual wind chronograph movement, as indicated by the M in its name, with a bicompax horizontal complication layout, as indicated by the BH. That refers to the two subdials at the 3 and 9 o'clock positions. It sports 23 joules, beats at a high bit rate of 28,800 beats per hour, and has up to 63 hours of power reserve, depending on how heavily you use the chronograph. It also features a hack in seconds hand ability and no date complication, meaning there's no ghost date position when you operate the crown. The stated accuracy of these depends on which finish level of the movement Nivada uses, which is unknown to me. It basically varies between plus or minus 15 seconds per day for the most basic level, and COSC certified minus 4 to plus 6 seconds per day for the higher end level. In any case, this specific movement runs at a strong and steady pace of plus 16 seconds per day, according to my tests with the Watch Accuracy Meter app. So I guess it's the former. Many strap and bracelet options are available for the Chronomaster, but I specifically asked to see it on this tropic vulcanized rubber strap. I just thought that it is a great match for this watch. I was not wrong, but I didn't expect such a good quality strap, to be honest. It is really soft and pliable, and very pleasant to the touch. It features quick release spring bars so you can take it off and put it back on with no tools, and a beautifully finished stainless steel buckle, brushed, with a high polished chamfered edge, and the brand's logo engraved on top. Let's put it on my 7-inch wrist and see how it wears. Before I even get to how awesome it looks, this tropic strap is super comfortable. If you're considering buying this watch, I cannot recommend this strap enough. It is incredible, and it goes with the vintage look of the Chronomaster so well. Now for the watch itself. Wow, this thing just feels as if it was made for my wrist. It's like when Nivada first designed the Chronomaster back in the 60s, they had Aviv in mind. And I wasn't even born yet. I love everything about it. The size, the fit, the vintage look, the tool watch aesthetics, the business of it all, the military vibe. I do think it looks great. And it would fit a large variety of wrist sizes too, not just mine. Legibility is very good, the broad hands contrast well against the black dial, and the air coating helps getting a clear reading of the time when the watch is facing a direct light source. This is a natural-born strap monster that would look awesome on many different straps and bracelets. You almost can't go wrong with anything you'd pair it with. And with 20mm lug width, you are not short of options. So it's pretty clear that I'm quite smitten with the Chronomaster, and the only actual con I can think about is the lume application. I think better lume could elevate this watch to an even higher level. The lack of lume on the bezel and subdial hands makes sense on a design standpoint, but it hurts the functionality of these complications in the dark. This watch does have diver in its name. Increased water resistance of 200 meters with screw-down crown and pushers could be nice, but considering the fact that it's most likely not going to be used for diving anyway, the existing 100 meters will do. Other than the lume, practically everything I've described in this review can be listed in the pros section. This is a functional tool watch that can be used in at least 5 different ways. Timing with the dive time scale on the bezel, tracking the second time zone with the 12 hours GMT scale on the bezel, calculating speed and distance with the tachymeter on the dial, measuring time with the 30 minutes chronograph, and of course, telling the time, which is important as well. The materials they used are great and just what you want to see. A robust and nicely finished stainless steel case, a beautiful double-domed sapphire crystal with air coating for great legibility, a state-of-the-art Swiss-made mechanical chronograph movement, and a top-quality vulcanized rubber strap. The Chronomaster was beautifully designed by Nivada Grenchen in a way that I think both accommodates all of these specs and complications, and just looks really cool and balanced faithfully bringing the original Chronomaster and the brand's rich heritage back to life in a modern package. It's a timeless design that worked well in the 60s and works just as well now, with an added touch of romance and nostalgia, and without the hassle of dealing with a fragile vintage watch. Now, at almost $1,800, this is not a cheap watch, but I think it really is worth saving for. Let me know what you guys think of the Chronomaster by dropping a comment below. If you want to check Nivada's catalog out for yourselves, and I think you should, you'll find a link in the description of this video. Don't forget to use the free strap code if you decide to buy anything. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my affordable watch collection, and hit the notification bell for more affordable watches related content. You can also follow me on Instagram and get to know me and my collection a little bit better, get all the news about the channel, and connect with me on a more personal level. If you've enjoyed this video, you might enjoy one of these too as well. I want to thank Nivada Grenchen for giving me the opportunity to spend some time with this watch, and to thank you all very much for watching. And I will see you next time.